Hey guys, welcome back to Starcast Circle Marks. Alongside nobody tonight, it's just me. You're stuck with me. Welcome to my hotel room in San Antonio. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Go and use that promo code THPN the next time you go and use DraftKings Sportsbook. They're the sponsor for our podcast, this episode, and all of THPN. There, you might get a little bit of yelly, screamy man tonight from me, and the way this game went. The Dallas Stars are now 0-4-2 against the Maple Leafs in the last 6 games, and they lose by a final score of 5-4 tonight. There are multiple things that we could talk about with this game this evening, and the frustration continues for me with this. The biggest issue for me is I thought was going to be the penalty kill tonight. I thought that was going to be what I was going to have the most issues with this evening, and it's not. The thing that I'm especially hacked off about is the response and taking their foot off the gas once they tied the game. When you're gifted, okay, maybe gifted is the wrong word, but when you're given a penalty shot and then your guy who has not played the best and he's a bottom 6 guy, and he goes and he scores his second goal of the game. He ties the game. You're on a second night of a back-to-back. You can't take your foot off the gas like the Stars did. The response that they had after that really, really hacked me off. That's what I'm more mad about than anything in tonight's game. And just there was no response. They slowed down, and it went exactly the way that I thought it was going to go. My coworker was here in the room with me, and Johnston scored the 4th goal, and I think he was expecting me to be a little bit more excited, and I was just like, nope, that doesn't matter. They're not going to score. They're not going to score again. So I just had no hope. I had no hope for this game after Dodonov tied it. So since it is just me here tonight, I would love to know y'all's comments, y'all's thoughts on this game. Leave them down in the comment section down below, and I will definitely be getting to those tonight, as I don't have anybody else to bounce ideas and thoughts off of here tonight. So obviously the big thing coming into this game that we got to talk about is the penalty kill. This is exactly something that we talked about, and me specifically that I talked about just last night, and the fact that the penalty kill, and there's no way they're top 10 anymore after a lot going 0-3 on the penalty kill. 0-3 on the penalty kill. It has slowly been trickling, and now it's turned into Niagara Falls, and we've had a couple of games now, one against Detroit where we allowed 3 goals, and now this game against the Maple Leafs where we allow 3 goals on the power play both times. You know, we just take away like one of those goals, and the Stars are in overtime right now, and this game's not over. I mean, it's the penalty kill has got to be better. The penalty kill has absolutely got to be better. And here's the thought process first. When you look at the penalty kill, who are taking up a majority of the minutes? You look at Yanni Hakanpää and Esa Lindell. That seems to be the thing that they're really, really good at. That should be the thing, and that's why they keep their roles on this team right now. When you have a game like this, and your strong suit is the reason why you lose the game, then you have no effectiveness, and you should not be in this lineup. I mean, I'm sorry. I love the 2 guys to death, and I've really been standing up for Lindell, especially because of how well he's done for the Stars over the course of his career. Yanni Hakanpää, he's being asked to step up into a top 4 role when he's more suited for a bottom pairing role, because we have guys like Hanley and Lundqvist and Suter who also should not be playing top 4 minute roles. But when you can't do your basic duty of your team, when that's like your strong suit, you lose all effectiveness and all reason why you should be in the lineup. Done then and there. That's the way that's my thought process on that. Now, I'm going to kind of transition away from penalty kill and kind of just talk about the defense in general tonight. And all of them, okay, yeah, Mato, I'm normally a Hanley stan, and I'm all for him. He was god awful tonight. Absolutely god awful with the penalties that he took, the pinch that he made that allowed for one of those goals that put it up 4-3 or 5-3. I didn't even get a chance to write the notes down on my phone before they scored their fourth and fifth goal. I was all excited about the fact that we had tied the game. So I don't know, but the and it wasn't just Hanley tonight though. It was Harley too. It was absolutely Harley as well. And I know that we should be focusing on some of the good things that those guys do, but Hanley was awful, and Harley made several really questionable decisions in his own zone. There were just turnovers left and right. Now, it was better than last game, and they really came out better in this game compared to last night. But they were seriously a liability. Y'all are taking the words straight out of my mouth here. Ardell over here. Harley and Miro were a liability 5-on-5 in the third. Matzo, Harley had multiple careless turnovers. Yes, exactly. And then I saw a comment from Ardell. I think you should focus on using Miro and Harley in a more judicious fashion, Ryan. Focusing on Hockenpah and Lindell are short-sighted, and maybe it is. You're a little bit right on that, Ardell, but it's specifically with the penalty kill. That's why I was kind of talking about that. But they just all looked rough tonight, and I'm tired of making excuses. I really am. It feels like when we have these games that it we're like, oh, well, they did really good in this stuff. And yeah, they got the overtime loss, and they kept it close. And yeah, but like, yeah, we're on a second night of a back-to-back, and we just came back from the All-Star break, or they've been doing really. I don't care. I really don't. You cost yourself the game. This is another game where instead of the team beating us, we beat ourselves. We did. The penalty kill was not good enough. And you don't allow, you just do one. Just get one where you kill it off. And this game was better. I mean, that is really, maybe I'm being short-sighted on that, and maybe I should be less harsh when it comes to that. But I'm sorry, I'm a fan, and the thing is I'm not a coach. I'm not in the locker room, so I'm looking at it from a fan standpoint. I don't care. You had an opportunity to win this game tonight. You had an opportunity to get a point out of this game tonight, and your penalty kill let you down. And then when you had the opportunity to at least keep it tied, to at least I would just be happy with a point tonight. I really was, based off of how bad the penalty kill was. And you squander both things. You do. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but when you look at the end of the season and you get to game 82 and you're looking at the standings, and I don't think it will affect the Stars as much as it will some of these other bubble playoff teams that we talk about. But then you start asking yourselves those what ifs. Like, what if Wedgwood had just made a save on that Marner goal? I honestly think he should have had that. That should not have been a goal. The defenseman, I forget who was in front of him. He was covering the other guy, and all Wedgwood had to do was make the save, and it was not a good effort by him there. You're gonna ask all these what ifs, and when you go back later, when you look back, you're gonna be like, what if we had gotten the point there? And this point tonight, just getting a point tonight might be the difference between having home ice advantage and not having home ice advantage. So again, maybe I'm just being too harsh on this team and everything like that, but that's just my feeling right now. And maybe y'all need to cool me down a little bit. I'm cooking a little bit, but anyways, let's get to some of y'all's comments over here, because I've pretty much touched everything that I really wanted to get onto. There was one I really wanted to talk about. Yeah, Ardell over here. Delandria and Hanley should not have played tonight. Absolutely. Well, I disagree with you a little bit on Delandria. I thought he had a pretty decent game, but Hanley, absolutely. Hanley should not have been in this game. But the problem is I mean, what's your other option? Are you going to leave Lundqvist in? It's not like he's playing much better. And this all goes back to Jim Nill. Please, for the love of God, go out and get a defenseman at the trade deadline. Please. I don't even care if it's just get somebody else outside of the organization that is not comfortable, that needs to be able to play top 6 minutes. I'm somebody, anybody. And I know a lot of people really want to go out and get like a Chris Tanev or something like that to help fix the defense. But the problem is, guys, if you go out and you get one of these quote unquote bigger names, which yes, he's a bigger name, but he's not like a top 2 defenseman. He might fix our defense. He might not. And then a player like that is going to have a huge, huge, huge price tag attached to him. We saw that trade for Elias Lindholm. I think the Flames got back like 5 different assets. There's no way the Stars ever make a trade like that. And Jim Nill has absolutely said he's not going to look at trades like that. That's ridiculous. You should not be making trades like that. When you look at the Sean Monahan trade where he goes to Winnipeg gives up a first-round pick for Sean Monahan. I'm sorry, but no, that is absolutely something that you don't do if you're the Stars. But, and then, okay, I knew this was going to come up too. Joe Mama saying, nah, just grab Sean Walker. They're looking for a first-round pick for Sean Walker, who, like, nobody knew who he was before the season started. He comes from, I believe it was from LA. He's with the Flyers now, but he was with somebody else before that. But it's just not, he's not worth a first round pick. He's not. And the what has kept the Stars so good for so long, and the fact is that, you know, Jim Nill keeps his first round picks because those are normally more valuable, even if they're a mid round or a late round first round pick, compared to trading away the first round pick to get somebody. And you know who is a perfect example of why we shouldn't trade away our first round pick? Nils Lundqvist. We gave up a first round pick for Nils Lundqvist, who is consistently getting scratched even tonight. So for people who are saying, oh yeah, just trade a first round pick. No, that you don't do that. No, you don't do that. Absolutely don't do that. So I just don't know what it's going to take to get somebody here. What I'm hoping for is that the Stars are looking at a under the radar player, which is normally what Jim Nill does. He normally does that really, really well. And he just is able to kind of slide it under from the other team, I guess. I don't really know. Kind of like what he did when he traded Dennis Gurianov away and got Dodonov in return. That absolutely worked out. Even with Dodonov on the 4th line or the 3rd line, wherever he is, that is a great deal that he did. We need a trade like that where we can get a player that is able to play on our defensive core. Because right now, the only players, well, I don't even know if you can really rely on Harley even after tonight's game. I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm just from the emotional aspect of the game. But like Miro is really the only defenseman you can really lean on consistently to get a game-to-game basis where he's pretty good. But I don't know. Y'all let me know more of your thoughts over here in the comment section. We'll see if we can get going on some of these ideas. Let's see. Joe Mama, how good do you think Tanev is, Ryan? And honestly, I don't know. I hear a lot of good things about him, but the problem is that that's based off of other people's opinions and from what I hear from other guys that I talk to within the hockey world. I honestly don't know how good he is. I need to go and watch some Calgary Flames games, I guess. Richard Saunders, how trade our prospects and our 1 pick. I just, you have to know that anybody the Stars approach with a trade, if it's a top 4 defenseman, like a number 3, number 4 defenseman, they're going to be looking at Maverick Borker or Logan Stankoven. That is the deal that they are going to be looking at if you're the other team. You want one of those guys in return. And I'm not willing to part with either one of those guys. There's no reason why you should do that. Like, okay, so let's just put Chris Tanev in there, for example. If you look at what the Flames got for Elias Lindholm, you're looking at Stankoven probably plus another player to make the salary work. Going the other way, maybe Foxa, or I don't know, maybe you trade away maybe even Dodonov. I don't know, maybe, but we'll have to see. But it's just not worth it. You cannot. You have a really good team right now, and you cannot mortgage your future to try and go out and get that now. Is this team in a position to go deep in the playoffs? Yes. Is this a slam dunk team right now? No, absolutely not. And the reason why it's not a slam dunk team is because of the defense. How are you going to fix the defense? You have to be willing to part with something. And they're not going to take Radek Foxa for Chris Tanev. I wish, trust me. I wish they would do that, but that is not gonna happen. So I saw an interesting comment over here. Let's see. I thought I saw a Radko Gudas comment, but now I can't find it. Radko Gudas would be interesting, but I think he still has 3 years left. Yeah, that would be a deal breaker for me right there. He's not worth the contract he's on at 3 years. You don't want a guy like that who is aging, who still has 3 years on his contract. I don't even know what his cap hit is, to be completely honest with you, either. So, okay. Ardell's telling me to calm down, so so I will calm down. I'm sorry. It's just my fandom. I'm so frustrated with the issues tonight. That this is a game they should have won, and I'm tired of losing to the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. Let's be honest there. Okay. Looking at some of the stats tonight, shots on goal. Dallas wins the first period in shots on goal 10-4. It's tied in the second 12-12. Toronto takes it 15-9 in the third. There wasn't much pushback from the Toronto Maple Leafs, or excuse me, from the Dallas Stars in the third period. There just wasn't enough. The face-off percentage, they win it, but they normally always do, 55 to 45%. And then the big glaring statistic, obviously, is the power play. 3 for 3 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Stars go 1 for 4. Technically 2 for 5 if you include the penalty shot. It was actually a pretty heavy-hitting game tonight. It was 36 to 31 in hits in favor of the Maple Leafs. And there was also some chippiness here tonight as well. You had Mason Marchment kind of getting in with it with Jake McCabe, which I didn't see exactly what happened to Jake McCabe, but I'm sure he had some reason for being upset about that. And I'm sure that Mason Marchment did something that was kind of on the iffy end. And then also Jamie Benn kind of getting into it a little bit in the third period, around the 13-minute mark, I think it was. He was getting a little chippy there as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and I was actually really excited about this, is at the end of the first period, I was just like, hey, we're actually getting some depth scoring from our team. Normally we're relying on the top 2 lines, and we didn't get a goal from the top 2 lines until the end of the game from Wyatt Johnston. So, I mean, Jamie Benn had a goal tonight with the third line, which the third line was pretty good tonight, especially in the first 2 periods. Dodonov gets 2, including the penalty shot. Then you also had Dellandrea getting on the score sheet as well, which was really good. It's really good for him to get on the score sheet, playing his 3rd game since January 3rd. So there were some good things here tonight. I was just really frustrated in the fact that this is a game the Stars should have won again. And I feel like that has happened a lot, especially this year. Especially this year, it really feels like there is a lot of games that they should have won. So I took a picture of the little graphic that the broadcast put up tonight, talking about the penalty kill, and I'm gonna be reacting to this live, seeing it because I haven't seen it yet. So penalty kill problems: the first 25 games versus the last 25. So in the first 25 games, they allowed only 11 power play goals. They were shorthanded 84 times, and their penalty kill percentage was at 86.9%. So, and that was good for fourth in the NHL. So very good through the first 25 games. But the last 25 games, even though they've been shorthanded less, they've only been shorthanded 72 times. They have allowed 16 power play goals, and the penalty kill percentage was at a 77.8. That makes them 19th in the league. So, honestly, looking at this, the percentage looks really bad, and especially when you look at the NHL rank compare for the Stars for the first 25 versus the last 25, that is pretty glaring as well. But the Stars have only given up 5 extra power play goals. So I don't really know how I feel about that. But it's an obvious thing because we've seen a lot of power play goals over the course of the last 2 games, and then like the last 5 or 6 games before the All-Star break. So that's kind of deceptive. I don't know. I'll get back to y'all on that and see where the penalty kill stats kind of take me. I'll do a deep dive into those this evening. But I'll go ahead and do my biggest winner and biggest loser tonight. My biggest winner, I obviously got to give it to Evgeny Dodonov. Dodonov tonight was excellent. Like he gets 2 goals tonight, and he's been in a depth role. I know this has been kind of a thing with a couple of Stars fans lately, but I think still needs to go back down to the 4th line, and you need to move Dodonov back up to the 3rd line. And it may even be time for Johnston to come back down to the 3rd and put Pavelski back up on the top line. I'm not it because right now the current construction did not work in the last 2 games. So maybe you give it another game and just let it see if the rust finally kind of dusts off or whatever, and maybe they get back to the way they were playing before the All-Star break, and because Johnston looked great up on that top line. Or maybe if they have another game like this on Saturday against I already forgot who they're playing on Saturday. It's at noon. That's all I remember. If they don't play as well on Saturday, then maybe the next game you go back to the old setup with Pavelski on the top line, Dodonov on the 3rd line with Johnston and Ben, and put Steele back on the 4th line. I'm not sure what the correct way is to go there. If you just pull the plug now and go straight back to those lines, or if you give it another game or 2. I'm kind of still leaning more towards the letting it go for another game or 2 and let's see if it works. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. The defense pairings, I don't even know what you do, because you gotta break things up and make it fresh. And I'm including the penalty kill as well. I think it's time to split those 2 guys up, and maybe it gets better, because right now it's absolutely not working. And maybe we can see Harley with Hockenpah, or with just try something, because the D pairings 5-on-5 and on the penalty kill are not working right now. Put it in a blender, see what happens. And Hanley needs to be out. Lundqvist needs to be back in, because Lundqvist played better than Hanley did. Just saying. Don't care if it was a back-to-back. Lundqvist should have played again tonight. For my biggest loser, I'll do it again for the 2nd straight game. I'll give it to the decor. The whole decor. Yes, there were some other defensemen who kind of stuck out more than others. Obviously, Harley with some of his really bad turnovers. and Hawk and Paw as well, with a couple of really bad turnovers. Hanley trying to pinch at the absolute wrong time when you just went down a goal. And I understand he's thinking, okay, offense, offense, offense. We got to get it back. Not right after the goal, man. You just try to solidify and calm the emotions a little bit. Okay? They had all the momentum at that point. Chill. Calm the emotions down. And then who else? Lindell was okay. Lindell was okay tonight. He had a couple of good D plays, but still, he's not the same as the Lindell that we saw a couple of years ago. So I really would like to see everybody play way better. And we just got to use the high flip. Use the high flip. I can't remember which brother said that. It was Chris or James said we got to utilize the high flip way more because these our D-core is just not able to move the puck fast enough outside of Miro Heiskanen. He's the only one that does not consistently turn over the puck every single game. And even then, he has had some issues the last couple of games. Excuse me. Okay. That's going to do it here for me tonight. I appreciate those of you who are listening live. We had a bunch of people here tonight. Maybe it was just me and I need to chill out a little bit, but especially with this game, I was very, very frustrated. And again, I was more frustrated at the fact that the Stars kind of just laid back after they got the third goal. They're just like, oh, okay, we're good. We can chill out now. Everything's good. And then they allowed 2 goals in the next, what was it, 50 seconds, I think? Whatever. So that's my thoughts for the evening. There's more of y'all that are listening later. Appreciate y'all for doing that as well. Go and check out sarcasticremarks.com for all the latest info on our podcast. It's where you can first listen to the Dallas Stars podcast. You can also listen to it anywhere you get your podcast. Please consider leaving a 5-star review anywhere you listen. Click like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Follow us in all of our social media stuff. Join that Discord server. We're still looking for some Who Cares segment options for us because we're starting to run out of some ideas. So please go and join our Discord server as well. Along with nobody tonight, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side, and we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. And we will be back with you guys on Saturday after the Dallas Stars take on the Montreal Canadiens. We'll see y'all then. Good night.